Well, today there's actually other people on the track, but I'm still going to try to video this. So it's probably going to start being an hour when I do this, at the track at least. It's more like 40 minutes, I think, when I do it outside. Sorry, my hair, my bangs, I don't know, there's something weird with them going on. I need to see my hairstylist, Laura, really, really bad. Ooh. Actually, she is coming to town. She lives a few towns away. She lives about 45 minutes away from me, I think. And it's about 3 or 4 towns away she lives. And her and her daughter are actually coming this way next Sunday to go to a hot air balloon festival. It's not in my town. It's a little bit past my town, but they're coming through my town. So they're going to be stopping and coming to our congregation with us for Sunday. And I almost forgot about that. She's going to be buying us fried chicken, though. I think I may have to make those deviled eggs I was talking about. So maybe I will go ahead and film that. Yeah, I'll try to film myself making those deviled eggs and the recipe for that, and then it'll either be this week or next week that I will do that. I will try to film it though. They're cleaning up here, so I don't know what you can hear. Okay. So the lady's vacuuming right behind me. So anyway, so I'll try to make those deviled eggs. She's going to buy fried chicken, and we're going to take the kids to the park. I had to think of some more Weight Watchers friendly things I can take. Probably, maybe some fruit. I'm glad I went ahead and talked to you about that. I almost forgot. Well, anyway, so she's coming through, and maybe I can talk to her before she comes and tell her to bring her hair cutting stuff and to do my hair while she's here. Usually I go up to her shop, but once in a while she'll bring her hair cutting stuff with her when she comes to visit, because she's also one of my really good friends. It's kind of funny. I have a really good friend, another really good friend, who I seen one day on Facebook. She posted a new haircut, and it looks so nice. And it's probably one of the nicest haircuts I'd seen my friend have. Although my friend's very pretty, and she always has her hair nice, but this was just exceptionally nice. And I have been looking for years for somebody to do my hair, but had not had any success in finding somebody that did my hair how I like it. And so my other friend's hair looked so good. I was like, where did you go? And she said, this new shop that had just opened up, but it was like some towns away. And so I said, well, give me the information and I'll go there. It'll be worth the travel if she does my hair how I want. And so I ended up messaging the hair cutting lady, hairstylist, on Facebook, and she's like, yeah, come on up. And so I made an appointment for me and all my kids to get our hair done, and it was just so nice. She did exactly what I wanted with all of her hair, and her mother and dad, she helps take care of her mom, because her mom is getting older and is experiencing a little bit of dementia. Not bad. I mean, I can't notice it because I just see her mom when I go to visit, and so to me, I don't really notice it, but they live with her and they've known her their whole life, so they notice she does have dementia. But for me, she's just a really, really sweet, kind woman, just very, very sweet and kind. And the dad is just amazingly so sweet and kind also. And so she lives with her parents to help take care of her mom, and her dad built her this salon in their house. So she has her own salon. She does hair and nails, just right outside. Well, I mean, it's in the house, but it's like blocked off from the rest of the house. I don't know how to explain it, but he built her this little salon. And so whenever we go, the hairstylist, she has a daughter who's between my daughter's ages, and they're just all such good friends, and they play and play in the backyard, and the parents go, just feed and feed and feed my kids, and the stylist's sisters and brothers come, and they bring food, and it's just like an all day picnic thing at their house whenever I go to get my hair done there. But sometimes she comes here, like she is going to be on Sunday. And so sometimes I will not, I haven't had her do it very many times, but a couple times when she's coming anyway, I'll have her bring her stuff and then do my hair. And of course I pay her just like if it was at her salon, but I have her do it here. So I think I better have her go ahead and do that. So I better call her if she has time. If she doesn't have time because of the hot air balloon festival, that's fine too. But if she will have time, that would be really good to get my hair cut. And so anyway, hopefully I can do that. If not, it'll just be a few more weeks and I'll get it done when I can go up there. But we've got our van. We just, like I said, got a new to us van, but it was okay. It's my parents that are in the nursing homes van, and we just bought it from them. But it has been sitting untagged and uninsured for like 2 years now since they've been in the nursing home. So we just got it like tagged and insured, and then like I said, we bought it and everything from them. And so I'm not exactly sure. There's some problems with it, and it's not that old and it doesn't have that many miles on it, but my mom and stepfather did not live in a very good neighborhood. In fact, quite poor neighborhood, a very, very bad neighborhood. And their house was always getting vandalized and stuff. And so I kind of have a feeling that somebody has vandalized the car, because there's just problems with it that are odd. So we gotta go get that fixed before I want to travel that far in it. There's just some wheel alignment problems that are crazy, and it just shouldn't have, because it was pretty new when they actually bought it. They didn't buy it that long ago. I mean, they didn't buy it very long before they went into the nursing home. In fact, it was not even paid off yet when they went into the nursing home, and they had a very short payment plan, like only 3 years or something. So it's only been paid off like 1 year. So, and it was only drove 1 year before they went into the nursing home. So yeah. So I think somebody might have vandalized it. I know their previous cars were always being vandalized by crazy neighbors as well. So anyway, gotta do that. And then, so otherwise, either I'll get my hair done this weekend or in a few weeks from now. One or the other. And then, let's see, okay, so there was other people up here vacuuming and walking and stuff, so most everybody's left now. So I tried to talk a little bit louder, but people are downstairs now playing basketball, so hopefully you can hear me over that. And now I have the pickups. I don't know what the deal is. I should have brought a drink though, because I'm already kind of thirsty. So anyway, so hair done, banded. Oh, and then I've been, okay, I started to tell you a little bit about it on weigh-in, when I walked the weigh-in, but then I didn't get to finish telling you. My pantry. Ugh. I still probably need to work on it at least another week. I can only work on it really when the baby's napping, and she naps a couple hours a day. So I've been in there every day for a couple of hours at a time. But it's big, and it had gotten crazy out of control while I was pregnant with her. And then I don't think I have said on this channel much, but after I'm in my 40s, and really that probably, it may have contributed a little bit, but it wasn't 100% because I'm in my 40s, but it probably did contribute a little bit. But she went way overdue. I was 43 weeks pregnant with her, and I was supposed to be induced, but then when I went to go be induced, the hospital turned me away and said I didn't come in time. It was really kind of crazy and silly, and I don't really understand what was going on, but that was a Friday. And then Sunday came, and yes, I was 3 weeks overdue. So I was, I was due July 4th, and I had her July 25th. Okay. So, Sunday came after the Friday that I was supposed to be induced. I was just not feeling very well, and I was not feeling her move very much. And she was usually, she was moving at least, normally. And I just wasn't feeling it for a very long time, and I started to feel really weird. And so I told my husband, I was like, I'm getting kind of worried. I'm not feeling the baby move. And I'm just not really feeling well. And so, but we were out doing our grocery shopping for the week, and he was like, well, let's go to the hospital now. And I said, no, I would wait until we finished doing our shopping. So we finished doing our shopping and took everything home. And then we went to the hospital. Well, they said the baby was fine, but I was not. That I was into preeclampsia. And so they induced labor, and I had her, except for induction, I didn't have any other medical interventions, but the blood pressure just was not coming down even after having her. And I was put on magnesium sulfate for that, but I wasn't given an epidural or anything like that. I just meant, there was no C-sections, no epidurals, nothing like that, only the mag and the Pitocin. So anyway, I had her, and the blood pressure still did not go down. And so they kept me in the hospital for some extra days until the blood pressure went down. Well, it finally went down, and they finally said I could go home. Well, the day they said I could go home, I had to wait for my husband to get off work to come pick us up and take us home. And then it was kind of late because he works pretty late at night. And so he finally got there, and I was ready to go. And as I was signing the papers to leave, I felt like really bad backache. And I just thought it was from having, labor without any kind of pain medication. Because I had zero pain medication. And sometimes that does hurt some people's backs a little bit. So I just thought, and I hadn't had any pain medication at all the whole time. So I just thought, my back's hurting because I just had a baby, a couple days ago, naturally, and all that. And so I did go ahead and ask if I could have some Tylenol before I left, and they said, yeah, sure, brought me some Tylenol. And then me and my husband went out to eat. We went to Red Lobster, and the Tylenol did not work at all for the pain, like zero. And it got so bad I just started feeling really sick and nauseated. And so I just said, I just want to go home. I didn't even finish my meal, and my husband wasn't finished, but I was like, I'm feeling really bad. Let's just go home. So we left the Red Lobster and went home. Well, things did not get better from there. A day or two after that, I started getting chills, like where I'd turn blue, and I'd just be shaking uncontrollably, like I was having a seizure. And my kids had came back from my parents. My dad and stepmother had been watching them while I was having a baby and all that stuff. and they were with us. And when I would have this like really bad, like I would be shaking and turning blue for like a couple hours at a time. I would just be freezing to death, and it was July. And July in Kansas is like 110 degrees outside, and I'm not exaggerating. It gets between 110 and 115. And so that's pretty hot, and I was like freezing and turning on the heat in the house instead of the air conditioning, and I just could not get warm. And so my husband kept saying, you need to go back to the hospital. And I kept saying, no, I'll be okay. And my doula had come out, and I'd kind of told her a little bit about it. She's like, some people go through that. It's your hormones shifting. Okay. Well, I haven't had that before. I didn't turn blue or shake like that with any of my other births, but okay. And so then, my dad and my stepmother left to take one of my little sisters to a camp in Texas, and we live in Kansas, so they decided to make it a road trip with all the kids that still lived at home, and or that was under 18, I should say, that still lived at home. And they went and did that, and then, like I said, I was doing this, and so I don't know, it wasn't, I don't think I was home a full week. No, I wasn't. I wasn't home a full week, and it just was getting worse and worse and worse. I was getting these shaking, I remember the last time that it happened, I couldn't breathe either. I turned blue, shaking, and I couldn't get my breath. I couldn't breathe. And so I said, okay, you can take me to the hospital this time to my husband. He's like, good, because I wasn't going to give you a choice anymore. We were going to go, or I was calling 911. And so we went to the emergency room, and they said I was in sepsis. I had a kidney infection from the, the catheter they gave me because of putting me on the magnesium sulfate. They don't let you walk because you can't feel your legs when you're on magnesium sulfate, so they catheterize you. And I'd gotten some E. coli in my kidneys and was into sepsis. And I still was having, and I also was having cardiomyopathy, postpartum cardiomyopathy. And so I was really, really, really sick. And they hospitalized me. And then, thankfully, though, my little brother, who got married a few weeks ago, Caleb and his fiance, who he's now married to, came and got my kids, and they took care of my kids while I was in the hospital for a week. And thankfully they let me keep the baby, of course, at the hospital. They just readmitted me back to labor and delivery ward so I could be taken care of, because the hospitals around here no longer have nurseries for babies. They have to stay with you. And so in labor and delivery, there's less patients per nurse, and they can kind of help you take care of the baby. But in maternity ward, they don't help you take care of the baby at all. And you are just expected to, take care of yourself and your baby while you're in maternity ward. So they put me in labor and delivery, and I was there for about a week. And so anyway, I've been really sick. I've been really, really sick. That's the whole point of this. I can't remember what the point was. But the whole point is, I've been really, really sick for since having the baby. And I was pretty sick during having the baby too. I mean, I'm type 1 diabetic, and pregnancy's hard, no matter what age, when you're type 1 diabetic. And then add, in my 40s, and add, this was my 6th pregnancy, because we had one stillborn, baby a long time ago, and then I had one miscarriage a few years ago. So this was pregnancy number 6, and like I said, in my 40s, and type 1 diabetic. So didn't get a whole lot done during her pregnancy, and then also being sick afterwards. The kids and my husband don't do too well keeping things picked up. So the pantry's where we bring our stuff. Like, we go grocery shopping, and I put the pancake mixes and the flour, the rice, cake mixes, barbecue sauce, ketchup, unopened mayonnaise, mustard, all that stuff gets put on the shelves in the pantry, right? Cereal, all that stuff. And then plus all my canning stuff is out there. Like I said, my jars and canners and cupcakes, cake decorations, party decorations, all that stuff is in there. And it has just, I make mints. I don't know how to explain that, but I make candies and stuff for almost all the weddings and the parties in my family, which, like I said, with having 17 siblings, I have a lot of parties and weddings. So we kind of try to make as many things as we can on our own for these type of things. And so I'm the one that makes all the candies, and usually make Buckeyes and mints. And so all my little molds and candy flavorings and all that stuff is out there. It's in the pantry. So we've had 2 weddings, baby showers, and all kinds of stuff. And I've made stuff for these things as well. Since having the baby in just the past few months. And so, anyway, when I say working in the pantry, I'm having to I am cleaning it up from top to bottom and rearranging everything. I'm even kind of redoing the whole system that's in there, actually. Like I have, the nice tablecloths and stuff for parties is in there and stuff. So I'm rewashing all that and reboxing them and configuring how I'm storing them and what's on each shelf. And the kids have grown since we've moved into this house too. And so before, when we first moved in, it was just me and my husband mainly doing the pantry or going in there for things. And now they go in there and get out. If they need another bottle of ketchup, they know where to get it off the shelves and stuff. And especially with me being sick, until the last couple of months after having the baby, I haven't went in there much. The kids have. And so it's just destroyed and mayhem. And then, like I said, the organization I had, it was more for me and my husband than for the kids. So I'm rearranging it where things that the kids never probably will be getting down, because they don't need to. They don't need to be getting down my pressure canner. They don't need to be getting down the canning jars, stuff like that will go way up high. But the stuff that they normally need to get, they can make pancakes and waffles, and they get their own ketchup out, or their own barbecue sauce, stuff like that can go on the lower shelves that they can reach. And the stuff that just me and my husband need to get down, like the canners, can go way up high, or things that we don't need every day can go way up high. So it's kind of a big overhaul. And also I'm going through and decluttering, getting rid of stuff that I just don't need anymore or won't ever use. There is a few tablecloths that are just, I won't need them, don't need them, won't ever use them. And a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff I've actually gotten rid of. A lot of Tupperware and things that are not really something I need or use. Some Tupperware I do need and use, but some I don't. So I'm going through, and if it doesn't have a lid or something, it's going. And then I've been like taking everything off the shelf and then cleaning the shelf and then trying to put back what I want to go there. But meanwhile, some things are kind of in limbo because I gotta wait to get that shelf clean where I want that to go. So it's kind of involved, and like I said, it's a big room. It is. And so with shelves going up and down all around. And so it's a lot. It's a lot of work. And I also am really, really trying to downsize and get rid of stuff that I absolutely do not need. I need my canner. I need my canners. I need my jars. I need my candy making supplies. I do need some tablecloths for parties and stuff that we do. I do need some Tupperwares for like the fruit bowls that I make, or different stuff. I do, or to store the candies that I make for the weddings and the baby shower, stuff like that. So there is a lot of stuff that I actually do need, and then I do try to have a pretty good supply of food, just for daily eating as well. I'm pretty good about. But I've tried to make that only things that we really, really use and rotate. But I try to have a pretty good supply, so just in case. Like I said, I've told you before, I don't drive, so I have to rely on my husband to take me to the store, walk to the one and only grocery store we have here in town, which is not always the most affordable, and it's not always the freshest or best foods, and it's pretty limited in what they have. It's very limited in what they have. Although, oddly enough, they have chili cow ice cream there. And oddly enough, they have, this is something I haven't talked about much on this channel. In fact, I don't know if I've ever talked about this. But my very, very favorite thing since I was a little girl was my Aunt Geraldine's 7-layer salad. I mean, any holiday, family gathering, I knew I was going to have my Aunt Jerry's 7-layer salad, her shrimp cocktail, and her lacy cookies. Now, I still make the 7-layer salad myself. I put out shrimp cocktail myself. But, maybe I'm taking a shrimp cocktail with my friend. Yeah, when my friend comes on Sunday, I will bring shrimp cocktail to the picnic. Yes. So, anyway, but I don't know how to make the lacy cookies. It seems like a lot of work. I know Aunt Jerry gave me the recipe a long time ago. She's died. She died about 8 years ago. I think. I'd have to look it up. I think it's about 7 or 8 years ago she died. And her and I had a special relationship. And if you want to know what Aunt Jerry looked like, look at this face. This is what Aunt Jerry looked like. I look like her so much. It's really rather odd. I mean, I resemble her more than I resemble my own mother, and her children do not resemble her as much as me. And this is no slant to them. They, it's something that they all, it was always kind of talked about all my growing up. And to the point, we look like so much alike, to the point that we have, or had, she's passed, but we had the exact same birthmarks in the exact same places. That is how alike we were. Kind of eerie and kind of like really uniquely odd that we would have the exact same birthmarks in the exact same places. In fact, one time when I was 16 or 17, a doctor talked to me about removing the birthmark. And I was like, absolutely not. You cannot remove that birthmark. I will never have that birthmark removed. He's like, well, it could, you never know what that could cause later on. It could cause cancer or this or that. And I was like, my Aunt Jerry's had it for 60 years and she's still alive. She has the exact same one, exact same place. She's just fine. I'll be fine. You're not touching it. So, it's a weird thing. But anyway. So, those are just the things that always remind me of her, is the 7-layer salad and lacy cookies and shrimp cocktail, because she always did those. She also did, and I loved them, but I'll never make them because I just don't do that kind of thing, but she would make puff pastry swans with cream filling. Oh, they were divine. They were divine. Wonderful things. But anyway, I was talking about the 7-layer salad. 7-layer salad has petite frozen peas on them. And this grocery store is the only grocery store, this little grocery store here in town, that has barely anything. They are the only places around here that still sells those little petite frozen peas. Nowhere else sells the petite frozen peas anymore. Sorry, my selfie stick was kind of acting weird. So, oddly enough, they sell those, and I always use those for my little 7-layer salad that I make like Aunt Jerry's. And it's so funny. I actually can make it really pretty healthy because I've talked about her before in the past, but Joanna M. Lund, who was the creator of Healthy Exchanges, how I lost my first 100 pounds the first time, she actually made a healthy version of that 7-layer salad, and it's in one of her Splenda recipes, and so I use hers, but it tastes just like Aunt Jerry's, but I use that to make it healthier, and it comes out really great. But it's funny that this is another connection thing, that Aunt Jerry was a type 2 diabetic, and she was also using Joanna Lund's recipes way before I even knew about her. I remember I was visiting her one time, and this was way before I tried to lose weight. This was in like 1988? No. 1992. I went to visit her because, okay, when I was little, Aunt Jerry lived here in Kansas. And I spent most of the weekends with her, except for when I was with my dad. My mom and dad got divorced when I was 6 months old, so I've never really known them, together. So I've always had visitation with my parents. I never lived together with my parents at the same time. So, except for on weekends that I was visiting my father, I was at my Aunt Jerry's. And then my Uncle Ron, who was Aunt Jerry's husband, Aunt Jerry's my mom's sister, but she's a lot older than my mom. She's 15 years older than my mom. And, yeah. So Aunt Jerry's husband, Ron, he worked from home back then, and so he would watch me during the day, during the week, while my mom went to work. My mom was a school bus driver. So I spent a lot of time with them. And my Uncle Ron, back then, he was working on a lot of, he's a bioengineer, and he's also a lawyer, but he doesn't really practice as a lawyer. He just does the lawyer thing for his own invention security. But he mainly invents things. So back then he was working on Prozone, or you guys may know it as the Ozonator. Prozone is its commercial name, but that he has, but his business partner took off with the patent, and that's why you see Ozonator everywhere now, not just Prozone, which was his original thing, but he is the one that invented the Ozonator that cleans water. And then There's some other things that he's working on, but back then that was mainly his main research was in that. And so I was at their house most of the time until I was 10, when Uncle Ron decided to stop working at home and go work for NASA in Huntsville, Alabama. So he's worked for NASA since I was about 10. And then my other uncle, my mom's other sister's husband, he also got a job for NASA about that same time in Huntsville. He used to work in the Silicon Valley in California, but then he went to NASA in Huntsville about a year or so after Uncle Ron. And he worked on the SR-71 and that kind of thing. He does computer programming. That's what he does. So anyway, so anyway, just special connections, and I like to... Oh, so anyway, I was visiting my Aunt Jerry in 1992 in Huntsville, Alabama. And she was having a friend come to visit, and she gave me a Joanna Lund recipe to make, because the friend was also diabetic, and she wanted me to make this diabetic recipe. And I made it, and it was really a neat recipe. I'd never seen a recipe quite like this. It was for a pretzel salad. It was really good. And so she said she'd make it every time that she had company that needed a diabetic dessert. And so I made that, and then I never thought anything else. She just told me it's a diabetic dessert, and I made it. It was good. Didn't think anything else about it. And then I started trying to lose weight in 2002, and I started with Richard Simmons, and then then one of my friends from my congregation, well, she wasn't from my congregation, but she's of my same religion in another congregation, but I know her. She said that at Sam's Club they were selling this book by Joanna M. Lund of healthy recipes to lose weight and for diabetics for the crock pot. And back then, in 2002, when I first started this journey, I was deathly ill. Like, when I say deathly ill, it was just about as bad as after I had the baby, except for worse, because after I had the baby, nobody gave me my final rites, and nobody asked me my final wishes. Back in 2001, the doctors were asking what my final wishes were, because I was not going to live, because my diabetes was into diabetic ketoacidosis and I was going to die. And it took me about a year to recover from diabetic ketoacidosis at that time. My kidneys had shut down, my lungs shut down, everything had shut down completely. I was hospitalized for about a month, and then it took me about a year to not be bedridden anymore. And then when I got up from that is when I started with Richard Simmons. And then, like I said, this friend of mine suggested the Joanna Lund book. So I went out and got it, and I started hers because they were easy and they had the exchanges listed in them. And Richard Simmons is, of course, the exchanges. So the exchanges were already calculated for me, so that made it much easier. And they were so easy. I was able to do them through her, and just through like little bitty bits of sorry, I'm getting some kind of signal on my thing that something about maximum, I don't know. Anyway, through like just exercising a little bitty bit every day, I got healthier and healthier to where I was no longer bedridden, and I ended up losing 100 pounds. So anyway, when I started collecting the Joanna Lund books, and then she had a newsletter. And so then I started collecting the newsletters, and I signed up for the subscription to the newsletter. And then I found that pretzel salad recipe. I was like, hey, this is that recipe that Aunt Jerry told me to make all those years ago, like 10 years before. And these are the recipes that she was trying to follow for her diabetic control. So it's kind of funny. Anyhow, that all came a full circle, you know. And then, like I said, I really do credit Healthy Exchanges for literally saving my life at that point. Because I lost 100 pounds. I got so much healthier. I was no longer bedridden. I was walking all over New York City. I could be out all day. I had a jobs. You know, I worked for D-Life TV. I did stuff for Richard Simmons. I was working in Martha Stewart's studio in Chelsea, New York, which is in Greenwich Village, and it was just great until we lost our little boy, Donovan, and then I just kind of let everything go. And I've never been as sick, except for that postpartum cardiomyopathy. It was pretty dang bad. But I've never been as sick as I was back in 2001 ever again. And I really do credit Joanna Lunt, Health Exchanges, and Richard Simmons for literally saving my life at that time. Had I not gotten help from both of their programs and from both of them personally. I mean, Richard Simmons used to talk to me every week personally. Joanna Lunt would talk to me at least once a month personally. And they really both helped me so much that I'll be forever grateful for them helping me to lose that 100 pounds and helping me to get healthy enough to even have children. I probably would not have ever been able to have children. Now, I can't say that, you know, I know some people whose weight really affects their cycles. It never affected my fertility, I don't think. But it definitely affected my energy level to be able to get pregnant. So, you know, it's pretty bad. So I really do credit those two people and their programs for saving my life. And it's kind of funny how my favorite aunt in the world had actually also used Joanna's, at least her recipes at some point. So anyway, Belle has decided to join me. She was in the teen room playing. Looks like RJ's coming too. And we have another 18 minutes of exercise. And I think they're going to be playing in the teen room some more because there's basketball in the teen room. Well, a little basketball hoop. And, what do you call it? See there. And they're playing now. There's foosball and air hockey. So.
And then there's the basketball thing. And then there's a big basketball court down there under where we're walking.
Yep. So, anyway.
There's a lot of rooms in this place.
Yeah, there's a lot of rooms. I think they were still having karate when we got here.
Yeah, there is karate here. And there's also the gym.
And there's gym. So, and pretty soon there's going to be swimming next door. We were actually supposed to have a swimming pool in here in this building, but the city did not have. This is a brand new building, by the way. This is its first year being open. It opened like last year about this same time. Maybe a little bit later. It was about around this time. And yeah, because they had their open house when I was having the baby, ironically, Sophia. But they were supposed to have a swimming pool here, but they did not have the money by themselves to build the indoor swimming pool. And they were going to split the price with our local high school, well, one of our local high schools. But that local high school is about 2 miles away. And by the way, that's where the Weight Watchers meeting is moving to. Like right now, the Weight Watchers meeting is in the alternative high school, which is only a block from my house, but it's moving to the bigger high school that was the original high school here in our town. Now there's like 3 or 4 high schools here, but when I was growing up, there was only one high school, and it's where the Weight Watchers is going to be moving to. So, they needed a new swimming pool, that high school, because that high school is really old. Like I said, it was around when I was growing up, and so they were needing a new swimming pool, and our town is very big into swim meets and all that. And so they were going to have a swimming pool here.
No.
And, yes, honey, quit. And the school was going to pay for half of it, and the city was going to pay for half of it. And then the students would just come here to do their swim lessons and stuff that went, or, you know, their swim meets and things. But then I guess the school got enough money to just make the swimming pool all their own, and they decided they'd rather the students not have to come all the way here, because it's a good 2 or 3 miles away from the high school. So they decided that they would just have the swimming pool just be for the high school and not for the community, and just pay for it all on their own without the community's money. Which, I mean, that's fine and all, but that just left the community center without an indoor pool. We do have an outdoor pool. I don't know if you can see it over there. That's already filled up and ready for summer. And it's right next to here. And that pool's been there for a long time. We had a community center before, but it was not here at this location. The pool has been here, but the community center was a good 2 miles east of here. And it was not as big or as nice or as new. So anyway, so now they decided to move it here by the swimming pool, and this is more in the middle of our town, and the other place is more on the edge of our town. So it's good. I wish it had an indoor swimming pool, because then we could swim year round instead of just in the summertime. Because like I said, I don't think that outdoor pool is open quite yet. It'll be open here probably this weekend or next week for sure. But I bet it's opening this weekend, because it's already full. I've seen there's water in it. There wasn't water in it last week. So it'll be soon. And let's see. So there's that. I do wish there was an indoor pool here, because that would be nice, especially a hot tub. There's not a hot tub out there either. But that'd be really nice. But maybe one day they'll raise enough money to do that. Hopefully. I think I'll try to keep a membership here to at least help the funding of that at some point. And let's see. But I'm really getting thirsty. I really, really, really wish I would have brought water or a drink of some kind, because the water here is gross. It's really yucky. It is at the pool too. The pool drinking fountain is yucky, yuck, yuck. And I like water, but not here, and not at the pool. Too bad. So, and plus a lot of the water has been being contaminated in our town, so I don't really want to drink it out of the faucets either. I buy bottled water, and I'm not a big proponent of having to buy bottled water, but it has been a big thing that our water has been contaminated for a couple years now here, so it's really not suggested by anybody to drink it. So anyway, let's see. Well, only 12 minutes left now. So, let's see. We talked about Aunt Cherry, talked about a swimming pool, talked about my favorite foods, like we often do, which is another funny. If you've watched this for very long, I just love cake. Love cake. And Aunt Jerry was a wonderful, she made good cakes. And her daughter, Kim, that's her oldest daughter. She's actually my mom's same age. Kim and my mom are the same age. And, because yes, Aunt Jerry got pregnant when she was 15 with Kim. And, but she married Kim's daddy, and they lived happily ever after till Aunt Jerry died. They had 3 children together, all together. But anyway, Kim, my cousin, she makes fantastic cakes. Man, I'll have to see if I can find a couple of them on Facebook. I know that her daughter, Kim's daughter, my second cousin, posts some of them sometimes that she's made. They are just gorgeous. I mean, out of this world gorgeous stuff. And They taste so good. I remember when Kim was younger, um, and she was still in college, we would be somewhere that would have something really wonderful. And Kim, she was, oh, I just noticed how horrible I look without makeup. Anyway, I was tired. I was not pulling makeup today. Anyway, Kim, she never ever, she was not shy. If there was a food she liked when we were out to eat, she would go right to the kitchen and ask the people for the recipe. And most of the time we'd get it. And then she'd go home and make it for us. And she was so good at that. And that's how she started her baking. She's actually a teacher. She's actually a doctor, but she doesn't practice as a doctor. Her husband's an anesthesiologist. And I think he's the head anesthesiologist at this point in his career. But back then, you know, he's just a new anesthesiologist. And his dad was an anesthesiologist as well. And so, even though Kim was a doctor, they started having children not very long after graduating school, medical school. And she decided to stay home with kids, and she made like cakes for weddings and different parties and stuff from home to help support. Although as an anesthesiologist, she didn't have to continue to do that forever, but you know, there is loans, you know, student loans and all that had to be paid back in the beginning. And so she did that, of course, a lot more when the kids were younger, little babies, and they were fresh out of med school. Now she just does it for friends and family. She doesn't do it as a career anymore. But most of her things, she just put together recipes that were wonderful from places that we had went, and we loved it. And so she would just go back and ask for the recipe, and they'd give it to her. And she kind of started her own catering stuff based on all these recipes she compiled from all these wonderful places we would go. And it didn't matter where we went. It didn't matter if she was in France, if she was in Ireland, if she was here in Kansas. If she went to a restaurant that she liked the food, she would just go back and to the kitchen and ask. Well, it would freak my grandmother out. She'd be like, "You can't just go in the kitchen and be talking to people." She's like, "They don't seem to mind." Back then they didn't. Here now with today's hostile world, she'd probably be arrested. But back in the late 70s and early 80s, people didn't seem to mind so much. I don't know. It was still kind of odd, don't get me wrong. But nobody called the police, and they gave her the recipes, and she would just go home and work with them until she got it perfected, and then she would make these wonderful things. And she still makes lovely, lovely things. And so began my love of cakes. I really didn't like cake too much until Kim. Kim would make the most delicious and beautiful, but also delicious cakes. Oh, I love a good white cake with pineapple and coconut that she makes. Oh my goodness, that's like my favorite thing in the whole world. But white cake is my favorite. White cake with vanilla icing or frosting, buttercream frosting, is definitely my favorite thing. Ever. But this body kind of says that as well, doesn't it? So, I would rather have a carrot broccoli loving looking body than the white cake with frosting loving looking body. But we're working on that. Working. So, anyway. So 6 more minutes and I get to go home and get a drink. Thankfully, we only live like 4 blocks away, so it's not that big of a deal. But I am very, very thirsty. And I've already had dinner. I'm not hungry. Pretty full, but I'm going to have my ice cream. I'm going to have it. I don't know which one I'm going to have, but I'm going to have ice cream. And a drink. But it'll be 0 calorie drink. Probably be water. And I don't know. I just keep getting the hiccups. So, what are some of your guys' favorite foods? We're always talking about mine, or at least I'm always talking about mine. Lacy cookies, which if you don't know what lacy cookies are, I've actually started seeing them sold the last probably 15 years at some stores. They're like they come in different kinds of nuts, but my Aunt Jerry always made them with macadamia nuts. And you kind of crunch them up, and then you make like a toffee, or kind of a toffee or a caramel. And you pour this toffee or caramel kind of like in a lacy circle pattern, but to make it look like lace. So it's kind of like all filigreed, and it's really, really thin, and just thin, buttery deliciousness. And then you put melted chocolate on top. And so it's like macadamia nuts, caramel, or toffee, or what's that other thing called? What does that mean? Brittle. It's like a really thin brittle. And with chocolate. They're amazing. Like I said, the last 10 or 15 years, I see sometimes that they're sold at some stores like World Market, but she always made them herself. She never bought them like that. And okay, the girl doesn't know what she's doing. She's vacuuming now. She's turning out the lights. But anyway, and it's not even time to turn out the lights yet. They are open till 9:30, and it's only 9. So they've got another 30 minutes. But anyway, oh, it's not even 9 yet. It's still 8:30. Got 2 more hours to go, or another hour to go. But anyway, so they're delicious. Now, so there's that. There's the 7-layer salad, which is lettuce. Now, my Aunt Jerry always put the bacon on the bottom, and I think traditionally you're supposed to put the bacon on the bottom, but I don't like the bacon on the bottom because it gets all soggy, so I put bacon on the top. But it's not as pretty that way, and this was made to be pretty. Now, my Aunt Jerry always made the 7-layer salad in a huge brandy glass, like, I mean, humongous brandy glass, so you could see the layers. I mean, the layers are pretty, but it's about the food, not the layers. So for me, how I do it is I put the lettuce first, and then I put a layer of water chestnuts, sliced water chestnuts, and then a layer of frozen peas. Then you're supposed to put your dressing layer, which Joanna Lynn, now traditionally it's just mayonnaise, but Joanna Lynn used like fat-free mayonnaise with fat-free sour cream and a little bit of Splenda, and then it tastes like real mayonnaise instead of like fat-free stuff. So, and I add a little bit of garlic, onion, and I think Joanna Lund used onion too. Aunt Jerry's never used onion, and I use a little garlic and onion and a little bit of orange zest in that little dressing thing, just because it's fat-free mayonnaise and fat-free stuff, and it kind of ups the flavor value. And so then I put that, and then it's mozzarella cheese, and then I put bacon on, and Aunt Jerry always put cucumber and tomato too, and if I do that, I put those at the bottom, very bottom, and then you always make a tomato rose to go on top. She always did a tomato rose on top, and I still do the tomato rose on top, and so it's all so cutesy. I put the bacon on the very top too, which doesn't make it as pretty, but I like my bacon crispy. I don't like it soggy, so that keeps it nice and crispy. And I just use bacon bits. Now, Aunt Jerry, she used real slices of bacon and crushed them up herself. But Joanna Lynn just used like Oscar Mayer bacon bits, and they're like 25 calories a tablespoon, and they're very low in points with Weight Watchers too. And you only need a couple of tablespoons for the whole salad, and then you're not eating a whole tablespoon, you're eating like a teaspoon. And what I do, because I like mine extra crispy, is I fry them. Well, I saute them in the skillet first and get them heated up, and then I pat off all the extra oil, and and then let them cool off and put them on top of the salad right before I serve the salad. And that way they're extra crunchy because I like that crunch. And I also like the crunch of the water chestnuts, and I like the pop of the frozen peas. That's so yummy. But we've come to the end of our walk. It's been an hour. I'm going to go ahead and finish going around the track this last time. But we're actually over an hour. So anyway, so I love that salad, and I love cake, white cake with vanilla frosting, and I love the lacy cookies, and I do love shrimp cocktail. I did not like cocktail sauce though until the last few years after I married my husband. My husband loves horseradish and everything vinegar. He's not a sweet eater. He likes vinegar. And so through the years I have developed a taste for cocktail sauce, and I actually kind of like it. I do like it. Well, I can't say I love horseradish sauce. I do love wasabi, Japanese horseradish. I don't care for American horseradish as much, but I do like cocktail sauce, and I'll eat it. They should make a wasabi cocktail sauce, though. I would love that stuff. I'd probably put that on everything, because I love wasabi. I love sushi, too. Really like sushi a lot. But anyway, we have come to the end of our walk, and I get to go home and get a drink. It's only 4 blocks away, thank goodness. So I hope you could hear today. Try to start speaking up. It's just hard when everybody's around, and it feels kind of weird, because especially when I was having to share the track with some other people, they see me talking to myself and everything. It's kind of odd, but try to get more comfortable with it. But anyway, we will see you later next time on Walk With Me, Talk With Me.
You can hear the songbirds singing, and you watch the clouds roll.